Welcome to the Amazing Authorities Podcast, where game changers, visionaries, and category leaders share how they built their brands, platforms, and global influence. Your host is Mitch Carson, international speaker, media strategist, and creator of the Instant Authority System. If you're ready to learn from those who've done it and want to become the go-to expert in your space, you're in the right place.
Eric, you've written the book, The Why of Money. I mean, it's prominently displayed right there on a stack, and it looks like I want to unpack and clarify what exactly does that mean? And you're a Canadian now living in America, so you had to learn our system.
I did. It means a lot. There's a lot of different factors to it, but I made an observation from a place of trauma. So I had a very, what I would say, a very humbling moment in my life.
Okay.
The calendar year was 2004, and I'm in the mortgage business. I was in the mortgage business at that time. So if you can go back in time, 2004, I'm in the mortgage business. I'm making more money than I've ever dreamed of.
You're printing money until 2006.
It was silly, right? It was really quite silly. And I had moved to the United States from Canada in 1999, fell into lending, had this great run, right? I'm thinking, why doesn't everybody move to the United States? This is great. Like, how do you not make money in this country? That was my mindset at the time. And I had several mentors, but my primary mentor at the time in 2004 was doing a site visit, meaning he flew to my city, was going to spend the day with me and my team, spent the whole day, and this guy was, in my view at the time, I mean, he was a walking god, right? Like, I wanted to be him. He had the perfect life, perfect business, perfect everything, right? I was literally trying to emulate everything.
Was he in your field?
Yep.
Do I know him, or do you want to keep it quiet?
I don't want to embarrass him.
All right. The reason I asked that question is because I used to run a coaching program. I rarely share this, because it also led to, I've had more failures than I've had successes in business. I ran a coaching program for loan originators, and I had over 220. Well, I'll get into that in a minute, because I don't want to embarrass some other people, but I got involved with, and I had my biggest day from selling from the stage. And there was a man named Habib that came in. Barry Habib. Yeah. Came in and spoke at our event. Then we sold a coaching program. I had two partners, but we sold $1.6 million of coaching to a group of 500 loan originators from around the United States in Phoenix, Arizona. And Habib, I forgot his first name again. Barry Habib came in and spoke with his partner. A blonde woman was on the stage with them. They did a dual sell.
Sue Woodard.
Okay, well, that's right. Gosh. And it was an interesting interaction with them. That could be a private conversation later. But we sold very, very well. Had all these people on monthly installments. And then one day, this was 2006, and we were printing money, going around the country, selling coaching to loan originators, because they had more money than God, as you stated.
Brother, you and I were in the same circle.
So the same circle, but I just wasn't a loan originator, but I had.
I get it. You were coaching.
Yeah, I was coaching, and I had three guys that I coached to start their own radio show in LA. They were also printing money. It was the platform of communicating to the public about this explosion in real estate.
Was that with Ron Quintero?
Hang on. Yeah. So wow, you know all these people. So I then, we're going back, this is more than 20 years. So I taught them the radio platform. They did that, and then abruptly, in approximately July of 2006, the credit compressed, and there was no more money to pay our monthly. So we had a staff of 8 managing all the coaching clients. All had to be.
It happened fast, man.
It just contracted. So so I feel your pain. I just wanted to clarify. Do I understand your demographic and your avatar and your audience?
Got it. Okay. Yes. I mean, you and I were in the same circles then, for sure.
Yeah. You got my attention.
Yeah. So my mentor.
So it wasn't Gary Habib.
Barry
Habib.
No.
Okay. All right.
No, great guy. He and I are good friends.
Okay.
Did you know that he has cancer now?
No, I haven't talked to him in 20 years.
Yeah, he's fighting the good fight.
Okay.
But he's got my haircut now.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, a lot
The,
happens for sure. But he's a brilliant person for sure.
yeah, the two
Uh,
people that I was partners with, a guy fellow named Doug Huggins and Joel Bauer. So the three of us
Okay,
had, yeah, millionaire originator.
got
Yeah.
it. So, do you remember Lone Toolbox
Yes.
and Tim Brahim? So Tim Brahim was the
Name
founder
is,
of Lone Toolbox.
I remember Lone
So
Toolbox.
yeah, so that was my mentor at the time.
Okay.
He and I are still great friends to this day.
Good.
But so he's in my office, spends the day, right? Gave me great feedback, right? Here's the stuff you're doing right. Here's the stuff that you could improve upon. An amazing day. And at the end of the day, I'm feeling pretty proud, right? Like he's got good feedback for me, but there's ways for me to improve. But I felt proud of the day. And at the end of the day, we're having dinner, and he looks at me and he says, "So I'm just curious, Eric, after spending the whole day with you and your team, like why is making money so important to you? Like what do you like what about the money is important?"
Okay. Good question.
And I looked at him, and I'll never forget that I couldn't understand the question.
Mhm.
My mindset at the time, right? I looked at him, I said, I don't understand. I mean, I want to make money because it's money. What? That was it. That was my response. And he looked at me, and for the very first time, I saw disappointment in his eyes, and it crushed me. Like I'm sitting here going, that's clearly a bad answer. I don't have a better one. I need to find one. I need to find a better answer. So I did what I always do. I go to people who are doing what I want to do and how do they do it, right? And so I went to the millionaires in the mortgage space, the real estate space, financial planning, CPAs. I think if you sold cars, but you were making more than $1 million a year, you count, right? So the criteria is you sell for a living and you make more than $1 million a year. And I would ask hundreds, I got into the thousands, why do you keep going? Like everybody around you stops, right? 99% of salespeople, they sell enough to pay their bills and then they stop. They just stop selling, right?
100% true.
They go
I've
bowling, they go to barbecues, they go to the beach, they whatever, but they stop. I sold enough, I'm good, and they stop. 1% don't stop. They keep going and they build wealth. So the 1% is who I went to and I asked them why. Like you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about what? As you're putting your head on your pillow at night, about to go to sleep, you're thinking about what? Like what's driving this activity? And I'm very cerebral. I'm very systems focused, very left brain. My right brain, not so much. I'm not artistic. You give me an Excel spreadsheet and I'll make magic.
okay.
But you ask me to paint a painting, not so much. And so when I'm asking this question to thousands of self-made millionaires, what I noticed quickly is number one, never one time was the answer about money. Never once, not a single time. And number two was all of the answers came back into five buckets. There were only five answers. And there were, variations of the five, but it was the five. It was clearly the five. And so I wrote a two-page treatment, and a friend of mine sent it to a book publisher, and they asked me to test it, right? Can you prove the five? And so I did an exercise for them. They said, "Oh, yeah." It's like, "Yep." There's a video on my website, eric-mitchell.com, that it's a 15-minute video summary of my book, and it proves the theory. Anybody can watch the video; it's free. And so the five categories, here's the five things, and so if you want to change your income, you have to change your behavior. But you can't change your behavior without changing what you believe to be true, and you can't change what you believe to be true without changing your values. And so if you really want to change your behavior, you have to change your values. And so the book is chapter one is here's the five things. If none of the five resonate with you, 0 out of 5, get out of sales. Just get out. You're never gonna make it. You just need one. You don't need all five. You need one out of the five. But if you read chapter one, and I say it at the end of chapter one, like if nothing about this chapter resonated with you, put the book down. I'll give you your money back. It's all good. But don't continue. So
So one of five, you've got to have one of those. Do any of the individuals you've encountered possess all five?
No, 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 no.
Okay, so it's
You
one
would
of
never, yeah,
five.
you would, I mean, two is a home run, right?
Okay.
You do a grand slam home run if you got two. Then there's variations like you can have one, and then if you achieve it, and it collapses, then you have to replace it. Otherwise, the
Ah,
driver goes away. So, like, I'll give you one of my examples that I use is Janis Joplin, the singer from the
sure.
60s and 70s, right?
Yes.
So her driver, right, was I want to be the number one female recording artist in the world of
And
all time.
she achieved that.
And she achieved that. Collapsed the driver, didn't replace the driver, and became a drug addict and died of drugs, right? Because the driver disappeared. There was no purpose anymore. There's no reason for continuing, right? And so it can be dangerous to have a driver and then collapse, and then it collapses. And now what? Now what do you do? And so, anyway, I'm happy. Do you want me to give you the five? I'm happy to give you the five.
Sure, sure. I was waiting. I was letting
So,
you.
oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So one possibility is an away from, meaning, um, so it's a lifestyle enhancement, right? But it doesn't mean I'm making money because I want to drive a Ferrari, although you might drive a Ferrari, but that's not the driver. The driver is an away from, meaning you came from somewhere bad, really bad, traumatically bad, and you're just going to work everybody because you're never going to go back, right? So an example would be a family from a third world country. They move to the United States. They buy a business. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, building wealth because they get to keep it, right? I came from a place where I don't get to keep any of what I work for, right? I come here, I get to keep this. Oh, I'm just going to work you, right? And you'll never outwork that person. Like they'll just work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, just because they never want to go back. So another example would be like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube and those guys, right? They just outwork you. Like they didn't become wealthy the way they are out of luck.
No, that's not it by accident. Yeah.
No, they outwork you. 3 o'clock in the morning, they're in the recording studio. It doesn't stop. Look at Snoop Dogg. Like even to this day, he's on every other commercial, right?
Yeah.
He's at the Olympics. This guy is just great because I came from a place where I'm never gonna go back. I'm just gonna work you.
Mm.
And so it's an away from. Now
Commit the
somebody might
grind.
say they grind like crazy. And so for some people that might resonate, right? They came from a traumatically bad place. For a lot of people, it doesn't resonate. Well, I didn't come from a traumatic, that's not a thing for me. Okay, great. That's not one of yours. It's just
Okay.
one of the potential drivers.
Sure.
Second potential driver is what I call emotional gratification. So you're looking for a moment in time to prove a point, right? Your grade one teacher told you were stupid, right? Your mom didn't hug you enough. Your dad told you you'd never amount to anything. Something. Something's driving, right? There's a driver. I'm looking for a moment in time to prove a point. I don't care about the money. The money's a byproduct. But what I'm doing right now is to accomplish a moment. That's all I'm looking for. And so an example would be, a kid gets drafted into the NFL, right? And he's at the podium with the microphones, and somebody's like you're the greatest ever. Like, what's driving you? I just want to buy my mom a house.
Right. Typical.
Boom, right? Doesn't care about the money, right? What he cares about is handing the keys to a house to his mom,
Outcome.
right? I'm looking for the moment, right? Janis Joplin, right? I want to be the number one
Emotional.
recording artist in the world. She's looking for a moment. That's it. That's the driver. Now, some people say, well, that's not my driver. Okay, that's option number two. Option number three is caring for your parents. There's a lot of demographics, a lot of whether it be Asian families, Hispanic families, lots of families, not just those two demographics, but lots of families where caring for your parents is very, very important. You might be looking at your parents going, they're not ready to retire financially. Like they're not, like I have to earn a lot more money because I got to take care of them. Right. And so you're building wealth because I got to put an ADU and at a dwelling unit, in my backyard, or I got to buy them a house, or I got to set them up in a retirement home, or I have to earn a lot more money because I got to take care of my parents. That might be a driver. Number
Big
four,
driver, as an example, I live in Thailand. Now, I'm
yeah.
from North
Oh,
America. I'm from Los Angeles originally, lived there most of my life. So I'm born and bred American. It is shameful, and I'm sure it's not too different in Canada, but it is shameful for parents to have to depend on their kids to support them when they're in retirement. It's not like it is in Asia, it's expected.
yeah, it's
So,
expected. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you have kids or not,
No.
or if your parents, would they accept money from their kids? In most cases, and I'm generalizing, in most
Mhm.
cases, it depends on ethnicity and or of their heritage. But in most cases, in Canadian slash American culture, it is shameful, and it's a lot of full to have to depend on your kids to support you.
It
It's
is. I would agree with you. And at the
yeah.
same time, it's a lot more common than people perceive.
You're possibly right because it's in your area of expertise. I'm just merely making the distinction based
Yeah.
on ethnicity. Here
No
in
question.
Asia, it is shameful if you don't take care of your parents.
And,
So it's the absolute 180.
yep. And so when I'm talking to these self-made millionaires, right, that was one of the potential drivers, right? Look, my parents this, my mom that, my dad this,
Sure.
right? Like I have to, I'm the responsible one, right? That's why I do it.
And they're proud of it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure there. For sure
So
there.
is pride a component to doing this? The sense of marking that? No. Okay.
No, I mean it's a byproduct. But
Byproduct. Okay.
the overarching is I need to care for my parents.
Got it. Okay.
Number four is opportunities for your children. Right. I gotta get my kids in the right school district. I need to build a business so they can take it over one day. I need to, you know, like common stories would be, right, husband and wife, they've got a son, put their son, he's got ADHD, so they put him in gymnastics to blow out the steam, right? Go go to gymnastics, God bless. And the gymnastics coach comes says, "Hey, your kid's got some skill. Hold on. Like this is your kid's not normal. Like what do you think
Uh,
about him going to Denver and
oh,
training for the Olympics?" Right? And
okay.
husband and wife are like, Denver, like we don't live in Denver. Like that's if he wants to go for the Olympics, that's where he's got to go. The next thing you know, the wife and the son are moving to Denver. The dad stays back to make the money and grinds 18 hours a day, 7 days a week to create the opportunity for his son to go to the Olympics.
Gee, mini Christmas. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
brother, I'm
Sure.
telling you, to watch what some people are willing to do to create opportunities for their kids, it's breathtaking. It's absolutely breathtaking. And so there were a lot
Admirable.
of self-made millionaires where they're like, no, I do this for my kids. Like this is not, it has nothing to do with me. This is just about them. Like, this kid wants that. This kid wants to go to Harvard. This kid, right? I need to earn millions of dollars just because of their dreams and hopes and aspirations. And I never want to say no. And so they grind.
Interesting. They grind. Okay. So grinding is a it's
Well, that's what
at the
selling is though,
core.
brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on, brother. That's what selling is. You grind,
Yeah. You
right?
do.
And your foot's on the gas pedal. And so the moment you take your foot off the gas, now there's also a part of selling that you have to learn how to scale. You have to learn how to be a better leader. You have to learn how to bring people on your team so that you can start delegating more effectively. It's not always about the grind, but in the beginning, and as you're growing your business, there's absolutely a grind that's required to build, right? You can take your foot off the gas later after you've built and your system is running without you. You can do that, but you can't get to that stage without first putting in the grind.
Sure.
Right? It's like Oprah Winfrey. Oh my God, she's a bit. No, do you have any idea what grind she went through in the beginning?
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
Do you know what kind of grind Bill Gates went through in the beginning? Right? And whether you like him or don't like him, Elon Musk, right? He slept on the floor of the manufacturing plant building the Teslas because he was on the floor building Teslas with his crew, and he wanted his crew to see him sleeping on the floor.
The
He
grind.
grinded, right?
I'm
And
sure
so
Jeff Bezos did the same.
Bezos
Mark
grinded,
Zuckerberg did the same.
grinded, right? They slept for 4 hours, got up and went straight at it. There was no barbecue on a Sunday. What? No, 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 no. That's not how this works. Right? And so, okay, so number four is opportunities for your children. Number five is legacy. You're trying to create a permanent footprint, right? To say that I mattered, I was here, right? I'm leaving something, right? You want to build a school, you want to build an orphanage, you want to some sort of permanency that you're
Mine's
trying.
an orphanage. I never had kids. Parents are
There you go.
gone. Oh, absolutely. It is all about
Okay.
legacy for me.
Okay. So then the question becomes, so now if I were to do a deep dive with you
Mhm.
about not having kids, why is an orphanage important to you? What are you going to name it? Who are you going to honor? How does it become permanent? What's the foundation that will make sure it's permanent? Right? If we really did a deep dive, like you're gonna probably gonna get emotional about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think this holds true. It's not just about why people sell or money, but what is the primary, what is the why? I mean, Simon Sinek popularized
Start
the
with
why.
why. Yeah.
Yeah,
Start with why. Yeah.
and you've now focused. It's an interesting marketing message, isn't it? It's now you focus the why of money. You've made it very specific to your industry to tie into what you do in your background. He was very general about why you do what you do. You've gotten very focused, which is what I
Well,
enjoy.
it's
And
helping salespeople. I don't care what you sell
yes,
for a living, right? But if you
sure.
sell for a living, whatever it is that you're selling, the world is going to put barriers in front of you, right? You're going to get rejection. You're going to, right? You're going to hear the word no a lot. And,
Mm.
and most people, that's a barrier, right? They stop. They go, oh, I don't want to keep prospecting. I made 20 phone calls. I can't take any more rejection. I'm just taking a break. I'm going to go walk around the block, blah, 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 right? Yeah, because you're focused on the money, right? But if you were focused on your why, 20 phone calls is a cakewalk. 20 phone calls.
Well, it's
That's
true.
it.
I've had sales jobs since I was 15. No. Started at 13 years old selling maps to the Stars homes on
Yeah.
Sunset Boulevard in LA, waving like this to cars to come and buy star maps.
Great education.
It was
Great
great.
education.
My second sales job was selling siding to homes door to door at 15, getting
Love
people
it.
in. And I found
Love it.
direct selling was then my vocation. Then later, if I fast forward, it's interesting. If you are having a direct sales background, you're going to be ultimately more successful. So I had all the
It helps for
mechanics
sure.
and toughness to go through in my own personal journey. But what you said also applies to people ask me in my personal life why I do what I do, why I chose the sport that I chose. You're Canadian. A lot of kids choose hockey
Lucky. Yep.
because you have the weather to permit. I grew up in LA. We don't have ice. There is no ice unless you go to an ice rink. And that was
Yeah.
mostly for when I was growing up,
Rich.
very few
That's
people.
rich.
Until
Rich kid.
Gretzky came to LA, nobody
Yeah.
knew I still can ice skate. I went
Yeah.
to I had season seats to the Kings when he came there. This is the 80s, long time
Yeah.
ago, which I enjoyed. I learned hockey. I still can't skate. If my life depended on it, I'd fall right on my face. But it was a great sport. My sport was martial arts. And
Hmm.
I
Which
have
one?
I have three different black belts. I'm a six dan in Taekwondo. I also have a black belt in Hapkido and a black belt in Kyokushinkai, which is a Japanese system. All
Okay.
striking arts, which I studied. And it was a result of being bullied in the park at age 7 and four
Right
kids.
there right there with you, man.
Yeah, four kids kicked my spokes in, called me racial slurs because I grew up in an area that was one race. And then another race of boys called me all sorts of names. And I had to tell my mother when I got home
Hmm.
with, a busted lip, a black eye, which developed later, all of this, what happened in the park. And they called me XYZ names, and I'd never heard them before. I did not come from a bigoted family. My mom's best friend was a black woman. And these kids were black and then insulted me, and I couldn't make sense of it. But why I got involved in the martial arts, I was a competitive table tennis player, but my motivation to switch sports was centered on I'm never going to let people have control over me again. So
It's a hell of a motivator, isn't it?
it's safety, it's pride, it's ego, and it's power.
Yeah.
all wrapped into one. And
But I'm
why?
I'm also willing I'm also willing to bet. So can I take a guess at
Sure.
something?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to guess at something that you have a drive. You had mentioned creating an orphanage.
Hmm.
It's because you have a drive against bullies.
Oh, big
And,
time.
and and those that are considered unable to defend themselves, like orphans, you have an affinity to that
Sure.
drives deep to your soul.
100%. Yeah, I can remember getting my butt kicked in the park by these four
And why
boys.
didn't someone come help you?
Well, it
And now
was,
you get to be the guy that you needed. You get
yes,
to be the guy that you needed when you were a kid.
yes. Had I been
Yeah.
involved in the martial arts earlier, and since then things have changed, I never had problems. Once I earned my spine and became
Yeah.
quite physically fit
Yeah.
and my attitude shifted, I had don't F with me. And
Yeah.
they would have met a different
But
fate.
that also tends to make you more kind,
Oh,
right?
I
Because
know what I've got a loaded gun in my
yeah.
feet and
And
hands,
so
and I don't
you
use
get
it
to be that's
unnecessarily.
correct. You get to be kind because of
Yes.
it. Yeah, I hear exactly what you're saying, where it's coming from,
Were you a
and
martial artist yourself?
yeah, I had to take I did mixed martial arts,
Okay.
and so a little jujitsu, little Muay Thai, little boxing, a little eskrima.
Oh, sure. Kali
So
Eskrima comes from the Philippines. I know the
yeah,
martial arts very well.
yep,
Out of school myself at one time.
that's great.
Yeah,
And
a long
so
time ago.
yeah, but mine came from I was bullied. I was in a small city in Canada, and I was Jewish, and I got beat up for 3 straight years, grade three, four, and five. And when I got
Because you were
older,
Jewish or just
yep,
because you okay.
no, because I was Jewish, yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so yeah, oh yeah,
And I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood and I was the only non-Jew. I was the goyim amongst all these Jewish kids where I was in Los Angeles. And I grew up in Beverly Hills and back then it was all Ashkenazi Jewish kids.
yeah,
And I was with another friend who was a Jewish kid and I was with him and we both they didn't care about our religion. We were just white kids in the wrong neighborhood and we got the shit kicked out of us for it.
that'll happen for sure.
Yeah. And so you can relate to the pain. So you got into martial
Sure.
arts after that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and you know, I got in enough that I did a couple of smoker fights, and um,
What's a smoker fight?
so I was in Los Angeles at the time.
Okay.
I'd been in San Diego now for about 3 years, but I was in LA for 14 years, and so a smoker fight is because underground fighting is illegal.
Oh, got it. Like Fight
And
Club
so,
stuff.
well, no, so the gyms, right? All
Uh-huh.
the martial arts gyms would get together and they would pick a location, a secret location, and then you just show up. The lead, owner of the gym would show up with his fighters,
Mm-hmm.
and all these gym owners show up with all these fighters, and then they just point at two guys that look like the same size. Okay, you guys are going to be fight one. Okay, you guys are going to be fight two. You guys are, and then all the members of all the gyms show up to cheer their fighters on. And you get in, and I think I was fight number 7 of the night. And at fight number 9, the police showed up and broke everything up. And but it's funny because when in LA, when the police show up, they train with one or more of the trainers, right? So nobody gets arrested because
They just break it up. Yeah.
you don't arrest your coach, right? No, no, that's not how it works. Right? They just say, hey guys, you gotta break, gotta disperse. You can't be here.
Yeah. I
Uh,
had many,
but
many
luckily,
cops that I trained, LAPD,
yeah,
and they had to learn how to fight. What
for
you
sure they
learn in the
did.
academy is minimal and
For
it's
sure they
about
did.
subduing. And I even had a SWAT team guy. The guy was about 6'4", a big fella.
Yep. I remember being at a party one night over at one of our sensei's homes. It was his
Hmm.
birthday, and it was a weeknight. It was like Wednesday night. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, and the music is blaring like loud, like you could hear this music 5 blocks away, loud. And I'm looking around, and it's 2 in the morning. The music's going crazy, and there's no neighbor complaints, no police showing up, no nothing. I was like. isn't that interesting? And one of the other senseis looks at me, he's like, he trains all the police officers. What police officers coming to this? They know where he lives. They know what this house is. And so do all the neighbors. All the neighbors know who he is. They're not, no, nobody's calling and complaining. Everybody's fine.
Ah.
I was like, isn't that interesting? Such a small world of the martial arts community that everybody knows. I just thought it was very interesting to me that the police are so entwined in that community that there's a respect that is paid.
Well, let me ask this then.
Yeah,
Since I understand you're fellow martial artists, and that's a whole different element that's laid on top, has that grit of getting punched in the face
I
and
say it all
coming
the time,
back
man.
for more
Brother, I say it
done
all the
something?
time. Like I'm a big believer that every man on the planet should step in the ring at some point. Gloves
I love
on,
it.
shin guards,
Bravo.
put on a cup,
Bravo.
headgear. God bless, right? But you have to have another man trying to punch you in the face as hard as he can so that you can learn respect. Because I watch so many men be disrespectful, and it comes from you clearly have never been punched in the face. It's clear to
Literally,
me.
literally punched in the face,
I
as in,
mean, literally, you've
yeah,
never literally because if you understood it, you wouldn't behave the way you're behaving right now.
and disrespecting other people.
That's correct. Like as soon like, and I'm sure you can see it as clear as day as well when you watch a grown man verbally being disrespectful in public, right?
To waiters, even waiters and waitresses, small
Doesn't
people.
it doesn't matter. You're just being verbally disrespectful in any circumstance. I already know you've never been punched in the face. Because the moment you get punched in the face and you feel your head snap straight back,
Uh huh.
right? I remember the first time it happened to me, right? I got my coach, decided it was time for me to get punched, like, right? Because I was trying to learn, and he said, "It's time, man. You need to get punched." He threw me in the ring with a semi-pro boxer,
Okay.
right? And he said to the guy, "Look, take it easy, but I need you to give him a little bit, right?" And he hit me, and for him, it was probably a 5 out of 10, right?
Right.
For him, right?
But it
But for
rocked you.
me, it snapped my head straight, like I zigged when I should have zagged, and my head popped straight back. Blood started coming out my nose, right? I said, "Excuse me." Went to the bathroom, right? Tidied up a little bit, came back out and said, "No, more. No, I'm not. No, let's keep going." Like, no, 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 you're good for tonight. Come back tomorrow. I was like, "No, more, no, but we're gonna get you on the heavy bag. You can keep going. We get it, but no, no, you're not. Safety first, right?" But the next night, I got back in the ring, back in the ring, back in the ring, back in the ring. Okay, look, if you rock me, you rock me, right? That's okay. But I need to learn. And but when you feel that physically, when you physically feel your head snap back, you have a new respect. There's a new, you know what? I think I'm gonna be nice. That's it. I think I'm gonna be nice. It's a better strategy than being disrespectful because now I know what it feels like for my head to snap back. Doesn't didn't It's not a good feeling. Don't like it.
Well, there's also power in knowing that you have the ability to snap somebody's head and you don't need to use it.
Yeah, I mean Jordan Peterson, the
Oh, yeah.
psychologist psychiatrist in Canada,
Smart
right?
guy.
Very smart guy. I love watching him, right? But one of his famous quotes was, "A man should be physically dangerous and then learn how to control it.
Yes. Oh,
But any
I know
man who
that quote.
can't be physically dangerous is of no value. You're not valuable as a man if you have no ability ever to be dangerous.
And to protect.
That's correct.
That's
Because you
our
can't protect anybody or anything if you can't be dangerous. But so become dangerous and then learn how to control it. Right? That's all. And so part of
and
martial arts is that thing. I actually have a vision one day in the United States to create a nonprofit for battered women,
mm,
and to create every martial arts studio in the United States as a safe haven. Posters in the window, any battered woman who walks in here, this is asylum for you. Every single person in this dojo knows what to do if you are a battered woman or battered children or anybody battered. Walk into a martial arts studio and they have a toll-free number to call, lots of support. We're going to get you out of that situation. There's people in here that are going to protect you, right? Like you got an army full of people that are focused on protecting the weak. Get in there, right? But people don't know that. Unless you've trained in a martial arts studio, you don't know that that's the culture.
Mm.
Right? You think, oh, it's a bunch of people that are learning how to fight. No, they're learning how to control themselves. They're learning respect. Like when you look at the business side of running a martial arts studio, right? The
Mhm.
money of a martial arts studio doesn't come from adults, it comes from the kids.
100%.
The kids
80%
program.
revenue split. Yeah.
That's correct. 80% of your revenue is coming from the kids program, right? So if that's true, who's bringing the kids? Is it the mom or the dad? It's the mom. 80% of the time, it's the mom bringing the kids. Okay, why? I need my kid either has to learn how to fight, right? Or he's got ADHD and I need him to burn this stuff out of his system, or I'm trying to get him to learn respect, or there's some alternate reason here, right? And so the leader of the martial arts studio knows this. And so if you disrespect your mom, you're going to get punished in the ring. You're going to get punched. If your mom is telling us that you're being disrespectful to your mom, we're going to beat that out of you. If you
Well,
get
it's
if you get a bad
interesting.
grade in school, we're going to beat it out of you. You don't like we're here because your mom is paying us.
Correct.
And we're gonna round you into the child she needs you to be. Now, if moms knew that, right? Oh my God, all the kids would be coming into martial
Well,
arts.
I got a comment. I grew up in this utopian environment, and the school where I trained was just outside of Beverly Hills. And I would see these rich kids come in with their moms, just like you described, wealthy kids, parents, and they would be so disrespectful to their moms who would put up with little Jimmy's big mouth. Once they entered the school,
Uh,
and you heard this, my master who owned the school was a Korean man.
yeah,
And
he's gonna beat that out of you real quick.
he straightened that shit out. It was like excessive push-ups on your knuckles, sitting in the corner. Talk that way
You
to your
don't
mother.
talk that way to your mom.
Yeah. And
I've never been in a martial arts studio that doesn't have that culture.
yeah.
Never wanted because they know, number one, it's the right thing to do. Number one, it's the right thing to do. Number two, mom is paying the bills.
And it breeds better. Yeah. And it breeds
And
better
it breeds
adults.
better martial artists,
Yeah.
better humans.
Better humans, better adults.
That's,
So true.
that's
How does that spill over? Because we went down this interesting rabbit hole together. It's a shared. How does that spill over to sales? Is that grit?
It can be. Look, when you walk into typical martial arts studios, though, right? The best fighters, they're not making money. They're broke. Like 98% of martial artists are broke.
School
Barely
owners
anything.
or martial arts competitors?
Both. Either
Okay.
just fighters in general walking in, just general martial arts studio attendees, right? If you walk into a typical martial arts studio, now there's exceptions, right? Like Beverly Hills and whatever. Like there's
Yep.
exceptions.
Yep.
What I'm just talking about as a general rule of thumb. Sure, they've got grit, but it's not being focused on making money because that's not their value system, right? Again, behavior, beliefs, values, right? What do you find valuable? And so typically, money is the root of all evil. I don't want to lose my friends. If I make lots of money, I'll lose all my friends. My family, I got to be at the barbecue on Sunday because my family expects it, blah, 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 right? And so their value system is not designed to make that kind of money. And so their behaviors are in alignment with their value system. And so you're not sure they've got grit, sure, but it's not pointed anywhere.
Because they don't have take care of the parents, take care
They
of
don't have any of the 5 whys, correct?
right.
Or,
All
or
right.
they're
So
not
that's
conscious of it. They might have it, but they haven't brought it forefront to really sink their teeth into it. Like one of my favorite stories, I was talking to a real estate agent, and she was asking me about the book, and she was in the 99%, not the 1%. And she was saying, "How do I get in the 1%?" And I said the same thing, right? Your behaviors need to change, but that's not going to happen. You have to change what you believe to be true, which means you have to change your value system. And I said, like, why do you want to make more money? And she said, well, I want security and I want, no, there we go. That you're telling me you're not going to do it. So when you tell me your why, whatever that is, here's a little soundbite I'll give you. Um, if you're not crying while you're describing it to me, then you haven't gone deep enough. You're giving me something superficial, but it's not the driver. Yeah, I hear all the time, well, I want to be a teacher and I want to help, raise the community and I want to, great. None of that's going to drive the activities.
Got it.
And so she was giving me all those sound bites. I said, no, hold on. Let me try and guess at some things here. Just like I guessed with you about the orphanage, right?
Right.
So I said, based on patterns, based on probabilities, right? Let me go down some roads here. So she had an accent, and I said, I'm curious, where's your accent from? And I think she said it was Ecuador,
Mm.
right? And so I said, okay, but you have an accent, which means you were born in Ecuador and you came here after. And she said, yeah, it's a young girl. I came here. And I said, okay, by yourself? She goes, no, my dad and my two sisters. And I said, okay, so four of you. She said, yeah, four of us. I said, was it easy for your dad to get you here? She's like, no, it's the worst, most traumatizing thing you could ever imagine. Like what he went through to get us here for a better life. No human should ever have to go through it. Like I can't even really talk about it. I said, oh, okay, is he still around? Yeah. You close to him? Yeah. Like the four of us, we're all still under the same roof. Like, yes,
Wow.
we're very
Wow.
close. I said, okay, have you ever honored him for doing that? And you could see her eyes just cracked, right? She's like, I don't know what that means. Honor him. I said, oh, and I could see their
Oh,
eyes like, oh, we got it. Here we go. I said, okay. So here would be an example. So could you ask him what school he went to in his home country? It's like, sure. I said, okay. And once you found out the name of the school, could you call the principal of the school, find out information about the school, and could you build a sports facility attached to the school, soccer field, basketball court, right? Like, what would that cost in Ecuador? $100,000? Maybe? Like, not much. It wouldn't cost that much,
okay. Okay.
right?
Okay.
$100,000. Then you put a big sign on the sports facility with his name on it. You name it after your dad. Now you hire a private jet. You put your two sisters and your dad and whatever other family members on that plane, and you fly them down for the unveiling. And the city
Oh,
mayor is there, and the principal's there, and the teachers and the kids and all of your family, and nobody knows what's going on in your family. Everybody knows in the community what's going on, but nobody in your family knows what's going on. And you get, I'm gonna do when I tell the story, I get choked up. And you get down there, and the marching band is playing, and they bring the tarp down, and your dad looks up and sees his name on the sign,
she about make me cry. Yeah.
right? And then you look at him and you say, Dad, I wanted you to know that your sacrifice was worth it. She's weeping, like just absolutely tears streaming down her face. I said, all of that combined, could you do that for $150,000?
I presume she was successful.
Yes. Hold on. So, yes. Okay. So you need an extra $150,000. Yes. You make approximately $20,000 in commissions per sale. You need an extra seven and a half sales. Can you sell in the next 12 months an extra seven and a half homes? Well, yeah. Then what's stopping you?
Oh
What is
man.
stopping you from getting that moment with your dad? Nothing. God help the person get there we go. Now you're going to do it. Now you're going to prospect. Now you're going to make the phone calls. Yeah,
Did it come to fruition?
this was like 9 months ago. She's on that path of trying to make it work.
Wow. What a story.
Yeah, and so that's the difference, right? Like I'm trying to make money. No, trying to get that moment with your dad.
man who sacrificed everything to get us to where we are. And that
I wanted
is a
you to know that
motivator.
what you did was worth it.
Good. Eric, I got to buy your book. I would urge everybody that's listening to us, got to buy your book to see what your why is with money, the why of money, because the payoff is a lot more than money. That's just
money is just a tool.
It's a
man.
byproduct, man.
People say, "Oh, money can't buy happiness." Wrong. You're spending it wrong. If you think money can't buy you happiness, you're just spending it wrong. And I promise you, life is a lot easier. And whether you want to give tithing to your church, if you want to be a better member of the community, if you want to help people on a larger scale, it's a lot easier if you have money in the bank.
Yeah. So, Eric, how can people get in touch with you? Where can they buy your book?
Eric-Mitchell.com, ERIC-Mitchell, MITCHELL.com. Everything is right there, all the links.
Well, if I were your brother, I'd be Mitchell. So yeah, maybe in another life. But yeah, that's fantastic. I loved our time together today. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
and
Mitch.
That's where people can find your book, because I'm going to buy it for sure. And I would urge all of you that are listening. So you can.
Yeah, and I would say watch the video that's next. There's a button that says how to find the book. There's another button right next to it saying a video summary of the book. It's a 15-minute video that spells out the theory. Here's the 5, right? Breaks it down, and then also now I'm going to prove it. And if the video resonates, then buy the book. If the video doesn't resonate, I would say don't be in sales. You're going to struggle. Obviously, Mitch, right? We've already established one of them resonates with you. For you, it's legacy.
100%.
Right? And so, but if somebody doesn't have one of those 5, then you're going to stop. You won't prospect enough. You won't sell enough. You won't break through the barriers. You won't grind. You won't, because it doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah. There's no motivation, no
correct.
Purpose. So good.
There's no purpose. Therefore,
Eric, thanks for your time, man. And we will definitely have you back in the future.
Thanks for tuning in to the Amazing Authorities Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps more experts like you rise to the top. For behind-the-scenes access and free resources to boost your authority, head to mitchcarson.com. Until next time, stay amazing.